Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Otaku Heaven coming at you with another anime episode review. Today I'll be reviewing episode 8 of Ajin. Now, this episode had a lot of stuff going on. If you recall from the last episode, Mr. Sato basically was getting everybody together to start a new the Asian Revolution. Basically, what's going to happen is they're going to try to assault all the humans and try to build a new place to live safely is what they say anyway. So he calls all the agents in. Before this, though, we see Nagai K actually managed to escape. He said he's getting used to the plane, but he doesn't really like drowning. Drowning still sucks. Obviously, one would expect so. But moving along, Sato has all these people gathered together. About half of them decided that they were going to go with Sato's plan, which was to basically take over some area where they could live by force and kill a bunch of humans that who were neglecting to help them and their escape from the torture and all the things that are going on that are negatively affecting the agents. And half the agents didn't really want to do that. They said they think well, here's what's going to happen if they attack all these humans. What's going to happen is going to start a nationwide agent hunt. So basically, they'll be pursued by the full nation and eventually the whole entire world. So they want to stop Sato. The one guy who said that was basically still captured by them. The guys who didn't want to go with him were basically captured and were going to be put in steel drums downstairs so they could not escape. One person managed to escape by jumping off of the building and then reviving and running away. But the cops are after him. The main guy, Tosaki, actually hired some people to try to capture him. On top of that, what's going on is Sato's obviously after him. And Sato basically got one of the guys who are really computer savvy to set up an agent website where he put out a message saying he was going to attack a pharmacy later on to show his dominance and to basically attract any other agents that were not convinced of his power, so maybe they'll come in and actually help him pursue the goals that he has, because obviously there are more likely more agents out there that want to help them. Maybe not even just in Japan, but in other countries as well. And Nagai K, after he escapes, what happens after his escape, and he makes it back onto dry land and revives after drowning. He basically jumps out in front of this lady. The lady hurts her back, so he carries the lady back home, takes all of her food and groceries back to her house as well. And then they're sitting in the living room, and then the TV pops on, and it was like, oh, we're still searching for the Nagai K agent who escaped 3 days ago. So she looks at him and she's like, well, I'm not going to do anything necessary. This gives K a much needed time if he's especially if he's going to fight Sato. As he's pretty much escaping or leaving the old lady's house, he sees another agent that was from the opposite direction of Sato, so he goes over to check it out. But that dude disappears. This happens to be the same guy that jumps out and escapes from Mr. Sato earlier, but neither one of them know it. But they're both on the same side. They just really don't know it yet. And what happens with that is Nagai K decides he's gonna go train there. He's apparently can summon 5 consecutively. So maybe you can control multiple agents, or maybe he's just saying like once that one dies, he's able to quickly summon another one. He can do that up to 5 times before he's worn out, which is more than likely the case. And this other guy, towards the end of the show, he's been chased the whole show and almost gets captured but escapes based on some his landlady calling the ambulance, and he acts as though he's a regular citizen, to which he dies in the ambulance, then revives and escapes. And at that point, he realizes that the agent wasn't working for Mr. Sato, and perhaps they needed to get together. So pretty soon, hopefully, we'll see that this blonde haired, I believe he was blonde hair. No, this agent coming together with Nagai K and then having basically a good agent side versus a bad side. The cops just on them middle way trying to get everything that they desire instead of anything like that. And the guys that they thought were employed were working for the professor, but they weren't obviously working for the professor. Tosaki it never really showed it, but it insinuated very heavily that he actually killed not only the professor but that other lackey that was with him. But they left it open, so it's very easy for them to bring the professor back in the event that they wanted to do that, to show more about agents that the government's hiding from them. The reason they're hiding it is obviously because the agents are you know, would cause a mass panic and hysteria. And also, they're good subjects to test human experimental drugs and experimental everything on them, basically, because they can just revive. Overall, though, this episode was alright. It wasn't anything special. We're just still getting into the very beginning of the anime. Sort of like what's going on in Fantasy Star Online right now. The anime is actually just starting at episode 8 instead of, episode 1 where it should start. But we should be kicking along here pretty fast, I believe. I haven't read the manga yet, but that's what it looks like. So I'm gonna give this chapter an 8 out of 10 just because we did get a lot of plot progression and some character progression with a bunch of new characters. And art and animation were still all the same. It was that weird 3D animation that we're all used to, but a lot of story was there that was actually very good and interesting. And really, that's all it takes to be a good anime is or a good manga. Either one, just to be interesting. That's what it takes to suck people in, and that's why I really like this chapter. I mean, it was good, but like I said, I can't give it a 10 out of 10 because it really didn't do anything. But that's all, guys. That's 8 out of 10. Peace.